Okay, let's talk about pantheism today because we don't have any volunteers for this worldview presentation. I will show you what pantheism is, and it's not included in KMOOC, so I will talk about that here. Well, this is actually a presentation of previous students. You can find them here, the student numbers and the names, and the symbol of pantheism is this. I don't know why exactly, but it really seems very mysterious and symbolic. Okay, so what is pantheism here? That is the first part. Well, pantheism, the word, etymologically speaking, two elements. Pan means all. Theism is from the Greek word theos. Theos is God, right? So pantheos means all God. In other words, everything is God. That is pantheism. And this is Korean, this is Chinese, okay? All gods theory. That's pantheism. And Handong student make like this. It's very interesting mathematical expression. So, everything is part of God. Well, it's from other website. So God is explained, equal to sigma and everything. Everything all together, totality of everything is equal to God. That's good mathematical representation of pantheism. Okay. Now, there are many other kinds of pantheism in Greek philosophy, for instance. Many Greek thinkers were pantheists. They thought everything is God, but there are some special branches like a materialistic pantheism, idealistic, and neutral pantheism. Well, materialistic pantheism thought matter is more important than mind, whereas idealistic pantheism emphasized mind much more than the matter, right? So these two are the opposite side of pantheism. But there was a neutral pantheism between the two. They thought there is a third substance, including matter and mind. Yeah. Anyway, the common point of these three are just everything as divine, as godly, right? Well, I have already explained each part, but let's see a little bit more. The materialistic pantheism means the material universe is all that exists. Yeah? So God is just another name for the material universe. This is very similar worldview to like Hinduism and New Age. Yeah, when we study those worldviews, you can understand that, I hope. The second point is that they do not believe in spirit. So that means the humans' thoughts, feelings, hopes, dreams, and aspirations are nothing more than biochemical reactions. So it's very materialistic pantheism, you can say, right? A third one is the idealistic pantheism. That means physical world is merely an illusion. Only spirit exists. Only spirit is real. Yeah? So the sum of all thoughts and feelings are therefore God. So all the mindsets and emotions are collected and summed up as God. That's more idealistic. So Plato, for instance, emphasized this kind of philosophy, idea. Idea is the essence of all things, and it is differentiated, from this visible world. Idea is invisible world, the real world. It's very dualistic worldview, you can say. And the third option was neutral pantheism, and it says both the material and immaterial emanate from a single neutral substance or energy called God. So it tries to include both, to harmonize both. But in the end, all things return to God. So those three are the old ancient models of pantheism. Now, when you move on through medieval period to modern period, you can find Spinoza. He is one of the best philosophers of pantheism. He's actually Jewish. He was grown up in Portugal, but because of his worldview, he was actually kicked out by the Jewish community. Jewish people did not like Spinoza because he did not believe in the Jewish God. And he came to the Netherlands at the end, and he could settle down there, and he started to publish his philosophy, his worldview. And the most famous book of Spinoza is this book, Ethica. Okay? Ethica. Here you can find, Ethica means ethics, and here you can find the famous expression of Spinoza, Deus sive natura, means God or nature. It means actually God is nature. So Spinoza believed that nature is God. God is nature. Any entity does not exist except God. God is the real entity, reality. Personal God does not exist. Personal God, which appears in the Bible, he rejected that, he denied that. And everything he is the result of the inevitable process. It's very causality-oriented worldview. So his philosophy was very different from traditional Jewish worldview or any other Christian worldview at that time. But he was allowed to practice his worldview in the Netherlands, so he became very famous, very influential. Okay? Another example can be Albert Einstein, the German scientist, very famous one. If you visit Switzerland, the capital city of Switzerland is Bern. Okay? If you visit Bern, you can find the museum of Albert Einstein because he worked there. After he finished his study in Zurich, he moved to Bern and worked there. So you can find his apartment, and he studied physics, he taught, he worked, and then he agreed Spinoza actually. So he said here, I believe in Spinoza as God who reveals himself in the lawful harmony of the world, not in a God who concerns himself with the fate and doings of mankind, to Rabbi Herbert Goldstein. So you can find that Albert Einstein was very pantheistic scientist. Now, this is another video clip, but I will skip it to save time. Now, that's about the introductory part of pantheism. Now I move on to the strong and weak points. First, another video clip, but I want to skip it. The first strong point of pantheism is to respect everyone, everything. All human beings like this, and also the environment. Yeah, respect. That's good point. Second one is the wondering for worship and universe. You see, they have a high respect of the universe as such, so sometimes they worship the universe, right? But that's not bad or wrong things, but somehow you can acknowledge as their strong point. And then the third point is rejoice our life. Yeah, they celebrate the life that we have, right? But of course, this worldview has some weak points. First, it cannot explain the starting point, the origin of all things. They say everything is God, but where is the starting point? Yeah? They cannot distinguish between creator and creature. Both are mixed up. There's no boundary between the two. Yeah? So it is kind of confusion. Second, it cannot explain the personality. Everything is God. Yeah? So you see here so many different faces of one person, but in terms of personality, pantheism cannot give a good explanation. Third, overprotection, because they deify the universe and the nature and environment. Yeah, they are very sensitive to protect the environment. Of course, we have to preserve our environment. We have to take care of our circumstances, but it's sometimes too much. Yeah. So, the last weak point is that they have no clear standard. Yeah, it's very ambiguous, very vague, very confusing. There are so many different ways, and they accept everything. That's the problem. Sometimes they are contradictory, you can say. Now, what is the Christian alternatives for the weak points? First, Christian worldview can explain the origin of the universe. Why? Because the Bible definitely says God made the universe and He is the origin of it. Yeah? It coincides with that today. Most scientists maintain the universe has the beginning point. So that is the Christian alternative to the first weak point. By the way, I will also upload this PPT to the lecture Q&A so that you can take a look at that, right? For the text, you can find already in the resources, okay? So, the Bible says, furthermore, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. God is the origin of the universe. God is not the same as the universe, right? And John chapter 1 verse 3, through Him all things were made. Without Him nothing was made that has been made. So God has made the whole universe, right? So there is a clear distinction between God and the universe as the creator and the creature, like a potter and the clay, right? Now, second alternative is that Christian worldview can explain the origin of the personality. How? The whole Bible describes the personal God, and it says He created human beings in His image. It's very clear. So it can explain where our personalities came. But in pantheism, everything is divine and God, so it's very mixed up. You cannot distinguish between personality and non-personality. So God created man in His own image. In the image of God, He created him, male, female, He created them. So it's very clear statement. The third element of the Christian alternatives is that it explains the importance of proper development and conservation of the nature. Whereas pantheism overemphasizes the environmental element, the Christian worldview gives you the balance of development and preservation. And God has made the whole universe, and He has given us the mission to take care of it, but at the same time to develop it. Yeah? So that is the authority of administering the nature properly. So it's very balanced view, you can say. So you can find here Genesis chapter 1, 26, let them rule over, famous cultural mandate. The human has right to use the nature and responsibility to take care of it. That we are steward of the cosmos. Almost the final point, a clear moral standard we have in the Christian worldview, because the whole Bible teaches us about good and evil, what is good, what is bad. And also gives us the clear moral standard, like 10 Commandments, you see. Also offers the ways and examples of how to live, observing morality, observing moral criteria, right? So it's very clear. As you see, 10 Commandments, you see, you shall not murder, shall not steal, respect and honor your parents. Keep my decrees and laws, for the man who obeys them will live by them. I am the Lord. You see? So I have already shown you all the Christian alternatives. The last point, open to questions. First, if God is impersonal, why people should worship or adore it? That's the position of pantheism, right? Second, if everything is God, what are the differences between human and animals, or living and non-living things? Yeah? You can imagine, and you can discuss with your friends if you can, and you can upload your response to the feedback. Okay? So, if you want to know more about pantheism, you can see here All About Worldview website. Okay? All About Worldview website. You can search pantheism and it shows you all the detailed information. Okay? You can read it. And you can also read my text, also the textbook. Okay? Then you can understand much better. Of course, if you have any questions, you can write down at the feedback. Okay? So far for today. Thank you and see you next time.